Musalia Mudavadi, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua, and Co-2 Secretary General Francis Atwoli. Labour Day, observed annually on May 1st, recognizes the role of workers in driving economic growth and national development. It also serves as a platform to address key labor issues such as workers' welfare, job creation, and labor rights. Various unions and organizations participated in colorful parades showcasing their sectors through themed messages, uniforms, and tools of trade.
Fellow workers and citizens, today is equally a historic moment. For the first time in the 60 years of celebrating Labor Day in independent Kenya, this national celebration are being held outside the capital city of Nairobi for the first time. And not just outside the city of Nairobi, it is being held in this great county of Vihiga County.
Your Excellency, the problem on the labor market today globally is outsourcing. Outsourcing is not bad, but Kenyan outsourced companies have a feeling that those employees under their ambits must be exploited. The Minister of Labor, he promised, has got to come out with a policy on outsourcing in this country, as it has been recommended by the International Labour Organization that any outsourced staff and is on your premises must enjoy terms and conditions of service as per the prevailing collective bargaining agreement.
I'm proud to announce, Your Excellency, that with the reforms undertaken in NSSF, now from the day you retire, if you put your papers in and you've retired today, within 7 days you'll get your first payment. And we are moving so that next year it is within 24 hours you'll get your payment. Before, people used to retire and die waiting for their pension. So you'll be able to get your pension immediately. Kweli mbele iko sawa.
And still on that, President William Ruto has emphasized the importance of ongoing infrastructure projects, stating that roads, railway, and transport investments are key to economic growth. Speaking during the celebrations, he criticized some leaders opposing the projects, accusing them of misleading the public by claiming the developments do not benefit citizens. He termed it surprising that politicians would oppose roads and railway projects, noting that such investments have driven growth in many developed nations.
Mimi nimesikia viongozi wengine wakisema ya kwamba hizi barabara infrastructure hazina maana. Mimi nashangaa sana. Wale wanatuambia hizi barabara hazina maana ni watu wanaishi na sisi hapa. Wakati barabara na reli zilikuwa zinajengwa siende mahali kwengine, hawakuzungumza. Leo wanatuambia hizi barabara hazina maana, reli hazina maana. Sijui wanataka kitu gani ni ya maana kwao. Ndio mimi nasema kuna watu wako na upungufu ya akili. Let me tell you, good people, this infrastructure we are building, their greatest impact will be felt in the lives of ordinary Kenyans. These projects will generate jobs, stimulate enterprise, and attract investment along the corridor, ranging from logistics and manufacturing to trade and services.
Now, Vihiga Governor Wilberforce Otichilo has commended President William Ruto for ongoing government projects, including industrial development and the standard gauge railway. He noted that these projects are expected to create jobs for local residents. Speaking during the Labor Day celebrations, the governor also urged the president to consider establishing an SGR station in Vihiga County. Additionally, he emphasized the need to set up a labor court registry in the county to improve the handling of employment disputes.
Niruhusu, nikushukuru kwa kukubali kwamba Vihiga iwe moja ya counties ya Kenya ambao wako na county aggregation and parks ambao ni ujenzi wa viwanda ambao itakuwa pale Luanda. Hiyo KIPES inajengwa na ikimalizika tutakuwa na kazi mingi sana hapo. Pia rais, pia ni uruhusu nitoe shukrani kwako. Watu wa Vihiga wamesema kwamba kwenda Nairobi ni kazi ngumu sana kwa vile traffic jam kutoka Nakuru kwenda Nairobi imekuwa kubwa sana. Tunachukua masaa mengi. Lakini wewe umeanzisha dual carriage kutoka Rironi ambayo itakuja mpaka Nakuru, Mau Summit na baadaye mpaka Malaba. Hiyo itafungua uchumi wa Western Kenya. Kwa hivyo sisi watu wa Vihiga wa Western Kenya tunasema asante sana.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi urged Kenyan youth to use official government channels when seeking job abroad to avoid exploitation and danger. He expressed concerns over cases of young Kenyans losing their lives in foreign countries, including conflict zones such as the Russia and parts of Myanmar. Mudavadi said that the government, in collaboration with KOTU, is working to ensure Kenyans working abroad are protected and their rights safeguarded.
Niruhusu ni kushukuru.
Ningependa kuchukua fursa hii kuomba vijana, wakati mnataka kwenda nje kutafuta kazi katika mataifa tofauti, kupitia kwa Wizara ya Labor, National Employment Agency na kupitia kwa Diaspora Department, na tena tuta collaborate na KOTU. We want you to go and work in a safe environment, in a peaceful environment, and earn with your security guaranteed. Tumepoteza vijana wetu katika mataifa tofauti, wengine wakisema wanadanganywa, wanaenda kule, alafu wanaingizwa kwa vita ambavyo hawajui, wanaingizwa kwa shida ambayo hawajui. Tafadhali use the government institutions.
And elsewhere, workers in Mombasa County used Labor Day celebrations to push for salary increasement, citing the rising cost of living. Trade unions in the region noted that challenges in sectors like coffee and the increasing fuel prices have worsened economic conditions. They said their proposal for a wage increase has already been submitted to President William Ruto through Workers' Union and urged the government to take action to protect workers' interests. The celebrations were held at Tononoka grounds in Mvita constituency.
Kwa sababu ya maisha, gharama ya maisha kupanda, nyumba kupanda bei na kadhalika, ni kwamba hata chakula, kuna vitu vingi vimepanda bei. Lakini tuna expect president wetu wakienda Vihiga, tunataka nyongeza ya 23%. Hiyo ndio proposal yetu, na tunatarajia kwa ile huruma wa president, head of state, hiyo mpaka leo wafanyikazi wapate kitu.
Tuna kilio moja kwa serikali, na hii inahusu mambo na SHA. Wafanyikazi wengi wamekatwa pesa za SHA, lakini wapoenda hospitalini hii huduma wafanyikazi wengi wapati. So hii siku ya leo wafanyikazi na ya leba, tunaomba waziri wetu wa afya angalia jambo hilo, kwa sababu imekuwa ni kero.
Hatujajua mwelekeo wa huu housing levy. Mimi saa hii ni mzee. Sasa nikikatwa hiyo housing levy, sijui nitapata hiyo nyumba lini. Kwa hivyo tunahimiza hii government yetu upande wa housing levy waangalia njia nyingine.
Now, away from that, traffic along Mombasa Road came to a standstill this morning after sections of the highway was flooded following last night's heavy rains. Commuters were left stranded for hours as vehicles struggled to pass through waterlogged areas. Some motorists were forced to remain stuck in long queues stretching for kilometers. Authorities have urged drivers to exercise caution and consider alternative routes. The heavy downpour has also raised concerns about drainage systems. And education officials have raised concerns over rising cases of sexual exploitation and technical and vocational training education training institutes. During a leadership workshop held in Mombasa, Tibet Principal Secretary Dr. Esther Moria reported that several complaints have been received involving trainees and principals. She noted that some institutions are failing in their responsibility to protect learners, with reports of students being exploited instead of receiving proper training. The government has termed the situation as serious and unacceptable, calling on all Tibet leaders to uphold professionalism and ensure the safety and well-being of students.
I have also a report that there are some institutions where misadministration is rampant, where girls are getting pregnant by trainers and principals, and no training going on. Michezo ingine CS. Michezo ingine. I have just had a meeting with the directors, with the regional directors. CS, and they are here. These ones. The regional directors are here, CS. I've just had a meeting with them. CS, I will consult you on this one. I will consult you before I act. Because you see, number one, I am a woman, I am a mother of girls. Let us discuss this one. But my friend, I will, and on this one, it is not even a question of me. Let us have a committee to go and investigate. Yes, I know you are a lawyer, and you know, lakini mimi, I'm a sociologist. So mimi nitatafuta information, and when I get it, I have just gotten that information from here. So
issues that are happening in your institutions that are not in accordance with the laid down regulations, which might be characterized as misconduct. And she was saying that she will consult on what decision to take. I just wanted to let her know that when there is misconduct, you don't need to consult. You just take action. And nobody will hold you liable for taking action, especially in situations of misconduct. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's because we have responsibilities, and we have to undertake those responsibilities in accordance with our laid down regulations and procedures. And this country, especially the Ministry of Education, where we have principals, trainers, and trainees, or teachers, and students or learners, there is a situation where you as a principal, you are in a position of power, and your trainee or learner is not in that position.
Now, residents of Nakuru County are being encouraged to embrace unity as the country moves closer to the 2027 general elections. David Kohn made the appeal while attending the launch of a county bursary program at Chesangwan Secondary School. He emphasized the need for peaceful coexistence among communities living in the region. Kohn warned that ethnicity and divisive politics could disrupt the harmony that residents have maintained over the years. He noted that such divisions could lead to tension and conflict if not addressed early. He also cautioned locals against being influenced by outsiders who may attempt to create political division for their own interest. Leaders and residents were encouraged to focus on development and work together to maintain stability in the country.
Tusikubali kabisa mtu kutoka nje kutueleza vile tunaweza kukaa. Sisi tunajua vile tumekaa na tunakaa na tutaishi kukaa tukiwa kitu kimoja hapo Nakuru County.
Education is key and it gives someone skills, knowledge and techniques to tame nature for survival. Wacha tusaidia watoto wetu waende shule. Watoto wetu, wakati unapata nafasi hii ni yenu. Nitawaomba mtie bidii masomoni, kwa sababu hautapata nafasi nyingine ya kusaidiwa vile serikali ya kaunti inakuja kukusaidia kupata basari uende shule. Hautapata nafasi nyingine ya kupata basari yote kutoka kama ni serikali ile ya kitaifa. Hautapata tena maishani. Kwa hivyo nitawaomba mtumie nafasi hii vyema, muwe na nidhamu shule na mtie bidii masomoni. Wakati utamaliza shule ukija huku nje itakuwa inaitwa sheria. Sasa hii inaitwa nidhamu. Ukifika nje itakuwa sheria. Uwe mwananchi ambaye anatii sheria wakati utakuja nje. Wazazi wetu, tulee watoto wetu vizuri. Tusiwachilie watoto.
Now, in business news, Standard Chartered has introduced a new China-Kenya trade corridor to enhance business ties between the two countries. The initiative is designed to make it easier for companies to trade, invest, and grow across borders. The corridor will support small and medium-sized enterprises by giving them better access to financing, market information, and international networks. This is expected to help local businesses expand into new markets and increase exports. The move also aims to improve trade efficiency by simplifying processes and reducing barriers that often slow down cross-border transactions. With China being one of Kenya's largest trading partners, this new corridor is set to create more opportunities, encourage economic growth, and deepen cooperation between the two nations. Now, as the country marks Labor Day, discussions around the minimum wage have taken center stage. The Federation of Kenya Employers has raised concerns about the proposal to increase minimum wages. The group says such a move will be a major policy change with wide effects on businesses and the economy. Employers argue that before any decision is made, there should be proper consultations involving all stakeholders, including workers, government, and the private sector. They believe a careful assessment is necessary to understand the possible impact on jobs, businesses, and economic growth. On the other hand, workers continue to push for a better pay to cope with the rising cost of living. The debate highlights the balance needed between supporting workers and sustaining businesses.
Of great concern to the Federation of Kenya Employers is the proposal to align the terms and conditions of service, the minimum wages under the Agricultural Wages Order, to those under the General Wages Order. This would be a significant policy shift that we believe should have been given time for discussion, for assessment, because the implications are grave for businesses. And we are appealing that that should not be effected at this point, because the implications and the costs to businesses, particularly those that are labor intensive in the agriculture, in the manufacturing and other sectors would be huge, and business definitely needs.
And meanwhile, customers' complaints in Kenya are on the rise. The Competition Authority of Kenya has reported a 37% increase in cases where customers' rights were violated across 20 sectors of the economy. The financial services sector recorded the highest number of complaints. It counted for 61.6% of all reported cases, marking a 32.1% increase from the previous year. Within this sector, banks contributed to 5% of the complaints in the last financial year. The authority is now calling for greater transparency in financial services. This will help customers access clear information and make better decisions when choosing financial products and services.
See instances where a bank markets a product for interest-free, yet processing fees and other levies apply, and are only disclosed once customers commit themselves. The desire to secure new business streams should never supersede honesty. With regard to cases of unconscionable conduct, banks should know that tying and bundling of services is wrong.
It continues to be very transformative, and it's an area that customers are pleased with what we are doing within our ecosystems, and my colleague will be able to highlight that. Complaint resolution. From where I sit, we receive a number of complaints that the customer has tried to engage with you, but you haven't been able to resolve it fast enough.
And the Transporters Association of Kenya is calling on county government to reduce the cost of doing businesses. Speaking in Mombasa during the association's annual general meeting, Chairman Bafalu Moya raised concerns over the high number of charges imposed across different counties. He said that these multiple levies amount to double taxation and make it difficult for transporters to operate smoothly. The association has now petitioned the Council of Governors to introduce a single harmonized system of fees. They believe this move will simplify operations, cut costs, and improve efficiency in the transport sector. The group also highlighted the need to streamline the introduction of road licenses fees to avoid further financial burden on businesses.
The part of introduction of road license, that one will cost the transporter much. It's an extra burden because already the transporter is paying more taxes than any other investor in this country. And again, the same transporter who is doing an inter-county business moves from county A, where he's charged access, a parking fee, and other levies that have funny names, and goes to another county. The other county across the other place, they also charge those levies in different names that also amount to double taxation, and that one increases the burden of the transporter. For that, every time we are doing that, the cost of goods go up, and that also affects the consumer, which is not good.
Transporters ndio ambao wanabeba ile nafasi kubwa kwa kuendeleza uchumi wetu. Kwa hiyo wakati serikali imeongeza mafuta bila hata kuita transporters kuongea na wao.
And Sauti Sacco has announced a major restructuring and recruitment drive at its Nairobi headquarters. The move is aimed at adopting to new digital technology and meeting modern customer needs. Speaking during an education day at the Nairobi branch, Chairman Eddie Ndigwa said the Sacco plans to introduce front office services activities, also known as FOSA. He added that an aggressive marketing campaign will target young savers to replace replace retiring members. However, Ndigwa expressed concerns over delays by some public institutions in sending members deductions. He revealed that over 46 million shillings has not been remitted, affecting members' access to their savings. He called on the Commissioner of Cooperatives to intervene. One affected member, Samiki Luvi, said he has waited for years to access his money after retiring from the Kenya's Broadcasting Corporation.
Liquid, the SACCO is liquid, and so we are asking members, come in, money is there for us to give you loans. As a SACCO, we have also come up with a collateral, so you can guarantee your loan with a collateral, giving people now the opportunity to be able to use assets or property to be able to get loans, secure your loan with a property. And so we think that one is going to ease. We are also looking in terms of the youth, how do we ease the issue of getting unsecured loan, but that one we have to go further. So we are working also on going further. What we are looking for and asking this KBC, Kenya Broadcasting, to remit to us is a total of about 46 million shillings. So this money actually belongs to members. It is not right that an institution is holding that kind of money and the members are suffering. We have challenges of institutions that are not remitting, and those institutions that are not remitting, they are doing a lot of disservice. And we have been telling them as much, that they are doing a lot of disservice to these members. And I don't know whether I need to mention here, Kenya Broadcasting is one of them.
And finally, it's a wrap for today's EBN Weekend Edition. Many thanks for watching. I'm Leticia Afandi, and our sign language interpreter is Alfred Mwangi. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.